Hello there, guys. Welcome back to Younes Talks Football. I hope all of you are doing well today as you're getting double upload. Yes, because you're getting this video, which I feel like is a must. I feel like we've got to go into this after what we've seen from our last game against Wolves. And prior to that, where we thought a certain trend was over, we're going to go into it. But later on, there is also the Tottenham versus Chelsea match preview. Now, do not forget, let me give you guys a couple of bits of information. Firstly, you want to be subscribed to Shootout because tomorrow the watch long on there will be a special one. We will be joined by none other than Paul Canaville, who will be live with us to watch Tottenham versus Chelsea. He will go into elaborate depth on his foundation, his history, his work, his life at Chelsea, everything. And there'll be a chance for all of you guys to contribute to his work and his foundation. That will be there tomorrow. So make sure you guys subscribe and you'll get to see his reaction with us whilst we're watching the Tottenham versus Chelsea game, which hopefully is a win. So make sure you're subscribed to Shootout. Secondly, if you want to catch all of your latest Chelsea merchandise and you want to go to the Megastore, well, make sure you hit the link in the description because over there, you'll find all the latest and all the latest offers, all the latest goodies are up for grabs and everything that's in the Megastore down below. So hit that link and go over there now if you do want to cop yourself anything from the Megastore and anything Chelsea related. And hopefully that will be a good omen for us to win tomorrow because it's an absolute must. Now, like I said, the preview for that game will be out later today. So make sure you're there for that. Subscribe over here too. But we've got to talk about one problem. We've got to talk about one issue that is becoming too frequent and it's too apparent and it's clearly a problem. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it isn't. Right. And as much as we want to sugarcoat it and as much as we want to pretend. Oh, yeah, by the way, do you guys like this background? let me, I've just had to look like I'm recording. I'm like, oh, yeah, but hang on one sec. Don't get me wrong. This is skeleton. This is bare bone. There is the possibility to decorate the hell out of this and to really make it channel themed. I couldn't get my old YTF big logo that I really want to put on the wall, but I've got something else and I've got lights and I've got things that I really can customize the hell out of this now. So if you do want this, let me know. Or do you prefer the green screen? Let me know. Give me feedback down below. What do you guys want? You're the viewer at the end of the day. So whatever makes you comfortable here, I'm cool either way. Let me know what you want. Now, there is a thing happening here. As much as Maresca or the club or whoever wants to downplay it and go, nah, it's fine. Like it's not that deep. No. It's deep. Let's stop. Look, the first step to sorting a problem out or sorting an issue that you have is accepting that you have a problem, right? So we're going to have rehab settings up in here. And we're not going to go down the route of, big up Amy Winehouse, absolute legend. And obviously she's no longer with us. But, you know, when it came to rehab, she said, no. Well, no, here we are saying yes. This is going to be treated like a rehab, right? The first step is admitting that we have a problem. So let's admit we have a problem. We pick up too many red cards for fun. Yeah. Now, as much as some of the red cards want to go, nah, but that one shouldn't have been, or that second yellow, yes, maybe that first yellow wasn't a yellow. Listen, take responsibility. We have to take responsibility. We have a problem, right? And what Liam Delap done in the Carabao Cup against Wolves on his return, it was legitimately portrayed like a return in the WWE. It was Brock Lesnar making a comeback. He literally walked onto the pitch thinking he had walked into SummerSlam as Brock Lesnar in front of thousands of people and went to F5 John Cena. That is what Delap had in his brain when he came out at the Molineux. In his head, he was at, I don't know, MetLife Stadium. And he's like, I am back. And I am the beast. And I'm going to take everyone out because I am Brock Lesnar. No. You are Liam Delap, my friend. Yeah? You're not meant to take your opponents out in that manner. You're meant to play football. And you're meant to be strong, yes, but you're not meant to elbow people in the face, just in case you haven't read the rule book. This is where we have to admit we have a problem. It's clear. Whether we like it or not, there is immaturity and a lack of discipline. Those two things have to be spoken about. Because we were getting red card after red card after red card after red card, literally, like I said, for fun. And we had Maresca talking about in the press conference not too long ago, saying that, yes, we might have had, a couple of them we should have avoided, but there was others that we couldn't avoid. It's not our fault. No, you have to develop the mindset that you are responsible for whatever happens to you. Look, we are in an era and a time now where there are people operating at the top of their game that have that mindset. Maybe back in the day that wasn't a thing. Nowadays, let me tell you, it's a thing. If you're around enough top thinkers and top people who have achieved and accomplished top things, you would know that even in circumstances that they didn't have a part to play in, they will look at that voluntarily and go, that was my fault. People would look and go, that's not my fault, but I'm going to say that's my fault. I was in that situation. Could I have avoided it? Well, maybe not, but still I was there, which means that I had responsibility of that situation, which means that I've got to bear the responsibility. End of story, right? I have to learn from it and I have to make sure that I don't do this again. Even in things where it's just you look and go, brother, that's not your fault. They're like, no. The fact that I was there means that I had responsibility. End of story. They will look at it from that perspective, and that is the mindset that you need to have. You need to bear responsibility for whatever you put yourself into. Even if something comes towards you, you need to learn about the fact that you positioned yourself to be in that situation where something might have happened to you. You need to be like, yep, that was my fault. We need to develop that. That is maturity. That is responsibility. And that is what other people are doing. So if we want to make sure that we operate at a level where we don't get stupid red cards like we've seen, or we don't end up with lack of discipline, lack of maturity, you need to develop that mindset. Now, some would argue, well, we've just got a very young team, so they don't operate on that level. Yes and no. Again, this goes back to us being responsible here. Let's not be stupid. Yeah, this is top-end Premier League football. I don't care how old you are. You come from the academies, or you've been bought, or there needs to be due diligence, and this needs to be cemented into everyone's heads whilst upon joining the football club in whatever shape or form that, listen, we hold a certain standard round here, and we hold a certain level, and you need to uphold that. And if you don't, you will face consequences. End of story. You have to. I don't care how old or how young players are, but if you're at Chelsea Football Club, there are no shortcuts. And we've been taking a lot of shortcuts in terms of discipline and immaturity recently. We are getting into situations that we don't need to get ourselves into. Cheap yellow cards, stupid challenges, naivety, late challenges, not positioning yourself correctly, not just being late into challenges, but being late overall, meaning you've got to go to the extreme in order to try and stop your opponent. You think, this is okay, you get a yellow, yeah, it's fine, don't worry, I'll take that. No, it's not necessary. And then you get dumb, absolutely dumb scenarios like we saw with Liam Delap coming on thinking he was Brock Lesnar. There was no reason for Delap to be that aggressive. And I know you can say that, but it's good to be aggressive. It's good to be aggressive, but you have to know how to toe the line. There's aggressive, and then there's what Delap done against Wolves. That is just unacceptable. It's what Jackson did last season. Unacceptable. We have to hold the same level of balance here. What Jackson did peed us off because he done it not once, but he ended up doing it twice, right? And we're like, what? He done it against Newcastle, then we saw it replicated in the Club World Cup. What? Mental, right? That is unacceptable. Liam Delap, who's meant to be the player that we turn to, he comes in, and I know that he likes to play with his heart on his sleeve, and I love that. There's no problem, but this is where you got to find the balance, and you got to not be stupid, right? You got to know how to toe that. You got to know how to use that. This is where Diego Costa was so good, because Diego Costa was seen as a villain and he was seen as a bad boy, but he wasn't really a bad boy in terms of record. He's a sort of guy that you would go, I know you're a criminal, but I can't prove it. He's a criminal. I know he is, but I can't prove it. I've never seen it, right? He's never been to jail. He's never been arrested. But I know he's a criminal. You just look at him. He's a criminal. But if you tell me when, where, how, what I don't know. But I know he is. Why? Because he was that good at towing the line. He was that good at making sure that he pushed the limit as far as he could without toppling over the edge, falling off the cliff, and then getting a red card. He got one red card in his entire time at Chelsea, and that was in the Cup. He never got a red card in the Premier League. Why do you think? Because he knew how to toe the line. He knew how far to push it. He knew what he had to do, how much to extract in order to get the advantage for to him, but not put himself in a situation where he is a detriment to the team. What Delap done against Wolves was put himself in a detriment to the team. He cost us fully. Not just in the entirety of the game, but the fact that he suspended against Tottenham when we could have turned to a Liam Delap against Tottenham. And the challenges weren't even footballing challenges. You know, there's a debate as to whether you could argue, look, he went in for a tackle, he went for the ball, he got a bit of the ball, took the player, and it's a bit of a debate. And even then, you got to know what you're doing. But he just went in completely reckless. He went in looking just to try and knock someone out. Why? What got into your head? And that's my point. There's too many players at Chelsea that are too loose. They're too loose. They're like, I can do this, it's fine. No, you can't. And this is where I turn to Maresca. I'm sorry, whether you like it or not, you are the man that's in charge of this squad. You are the man that holds the standard and the level here. Training day to day, you're the one that needs to cement it. In the dressing room, you're the one that needs to cement it. And I do respect what he said after the game. He did say that after the yellow card for Liam Delap, the first yellow, he said 4 to 5 times. 4 to 5 times that you have to calm down. And then he went on in that press conference to say that Liam Delap sometimes likes to play for himself. Well, I'm sorry. If that is how it is and that is what you do, then you will face consequences. You can't be talking like this because, okay, now we're entering a point where, what do I understand here? If Maresca is saying in the press conference that I told him after the yellow 4 to 5 times about this and then you still did it, that means he don't respect you. If I tell you something 4 times, 5 times, and you don't listen and you go and you crash into a wall, well, you didn't listen. But if you respected me enough, you'd listen. Especially as your manager. No? Or am I looking at this wrong? Now, if that is the case, for the love of God, don't let Delap get away with this. I would dock him a week's wages. There's the consequence. Try and do it again, see what happens. There we are. But it's Maresca's job to get through to him that, look, there's a punishment for what you did, but I'm not saying don't be aggressive. This is where things have to be managed correctly. That's the responsibility of Enzo Maresca. It's his job to nail into Delap and everyone else in the squad that gets cheap yellows and cheap red cards for no reason. That I expect a level of aggression from you. I expect a level of determination and grit and a little bit of the dirty side of the game. But within the rules, don't be stupid and don't cost the team. Don't go in with an elbow into someone's head. Don't grab someone by the neck. Don't go in for a late challenge when you know the ball's gone. Those are basics, right? That is the balance. That is the responsibility of Enzo Maresca to put into everyone's heads in the team. Whether it's in the training ground or it's in the dressing room or wherever. It's his job. So that is what I expect from this point onwards. I do not want to see stupid red cards and even stupid yellow cards because that accumulates. And let's not pretend we've not had a lot of that either. And that comes from players that do wear their hearts on their sleeves. We've seen Caicedo, for example. How many yellow cards has he got? Some of them, yeah, pretty stupid. Some of them probably shouldn't have got, but it adds up. And this is where I'm not saying be soft and just let players get away with the ball and don't challenge. No, challenge, going for it. Sometimes you get a yellow. Sometimes it is what it is. And everyone will be able to know and understand that based on each occasion and each scenario. But with that is what you expect. Don't add on to it with just unnecessary BS. And we do that way too often. And that is a problem. And that shows lack of discipline and lack of maturity. We need to get our heads out of our backsides and wake the hell up when it comes to this. Because this is what's going to hold us back for the entirety of the season if we're not careful. We have enough with injuries and results that are not going our way. And then when you shoot yourselves in the feet, you basically lose. So, that's that. Let me know your thoughts down below. Much appreciated. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Notification bell on. Leave me your comments in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to Shootout. Be here later on for Tottenham versus Chelsea preview. Much appreciated. We'll get into that. We'll see what Maresca's got to say in the press conference as well. And I'll catch all of you later. Have a good one, people. Look after yourselves. See you later. Take care. And peace.